Good evening, night shifters. This is third shift HFY. Settle in and let tonight's stars tell their story.
They thought themselves victorious. The galaxy's warlords, its counselors, its empires, all united in the erasure of mankind. Earth was turned to ash, its memory erased in fire and silence. Yet, look now. Their triumph lies scattered across the stars, whole sectors empty, civilizations burned down to dust. The silence is not peace, it is the hush before teeth close in the dark. They came across our relays, buried in the static, voices from the edges of the stars, where the dark had already fallen. Survivors, if they could still be called that. What you're about to hear, what they left behind, was not warning, it was confession.
It was not a fleet, not a ship, no silhouette against the stars. It was a shape without form. We aimed everything we had. Beams, warheads, psionics, all of it vanished, as if the void itself swallowed our fire.
Static surge. Silence. Then the next voice cuts in.
We laughed when the humans fought so hard to defend their dead world. Laughed at their savagery. We never asked why they clung so fiercely to that ruined sphere. Perhaps some part of us knew. Perhaps they were never fighting for themselves.
Transmission distorts, breaking into garbled sounds. A voice repeats the same word.
Jailers, jailers, jailers.
Until the channel collapses.
It is not killing us, it is using us. Our cities rise like waves of flesh and bone, and then collapse. It learns with every scream. Do not fight, do not.
The chamber of the Galactic Council is nearly empty now. Rows of once proud seats stand vacant, their banners scorched or torn. The survivors who remain are hollow-eyed shadows of their former selves, gathered around the central dais where emergency lights cast a pale, almost funereal glow. The commander from before is there, speaking, not with authority, but with exhaustion. His words echo into silence, as though even the chained walls are listening.
We thought we could erase humanity. We fought. Without them, the board was ours to play. But they were holding it back. Their very existence, no, their struggle, counter-caged. And now,
a pause. His claws curl against the stone, trembling.
Now, there is no cage.
The counselors shift in silence, some clutching relics of their dying worlds, others unable to look at one another. Overhead, the great chamber dome shows a live feed of the stars beyond, and a faint ripple of something impossibly vast, blotting out constellations as if erasing history itself. Whatever it is coming here. The chamber quakes faintly, a low rumble like distant thunder rolling through the stone walls. A smaller alien, slender, scaled skin shimmering faintly, staggers in from the outer halls, clutching a cracked data tablet. His voice shakes as he reports.
The outer colonies are gone. Not conquered. Not burned. Gone. Empty skies. Empty ground. The darkness swallows them whole.
A commander rises, his back straightening despite the weight pressing on his chest. He slams a clawed hand on the dais.
No, there must be resistance. There must be something left.
But even as he speaks, the dome projection shifts. One by one, star systems across the map flicker out, entire constellations erased. Gasps and cries fill the council floor. A clawed alien slams its fists into the table until cracks spiderweb through the stone. Another collapses, keening low in despair. The commander stares upward, his expression hollow. His voice drops.
They were the cage, and we broke it.
The counselors realized the unthinkable. Humanity's destruction wasn't the end of a war, but the beginning of a reckoning. The chamber fell into silence after the last star dimmed on the map. The counselors, creatures who had once lorded over galaxies, stared at the hologram as if their gaze alone could will the light back. The silence didn't last. A sound, low and resonant, rolled through the foundations of the chamber. The obsidian stone beneath their feet shuddered. Dust sifted down from the ceiling. For a heartbeat, no one dared breathe.
What? That sound! It isn't seismic. It's inside the walls.
The armored commander whipped around, eyes narrowing, mandibles clenching. His clawed fist gripped the dais tighter, cracks spreading further across its surface.
Lies. It cannot breach us here. This citadel was carved into the bones of a dead star. Nothing pierces it.
Another thrum, louder this time. This one wasn't in the floor. It came from the air. Vibrations rippled through the atmosphere itself, warping the projection of the dying stars until the hologram bled into static.
The map isn't failing. It's bleeding into us.
And then the lights died. Every glow thread of circuitry, every suspended torch flame guttered out. Darkness swallowed the council chamber whole. Panic erupted instantly. Shouts in different tongues, claws scraping stone, bodies crashing into one another. But over the chaos, the sound grew clear. A rhythm, impossibly vast, like a heartbeat. Thud, thud, thud. The small alien stumbled forward, clutching his data tablet like a shield. Its fractured surface sputtered one last burst of light, just enough to reveal what loomed at the far end of the chamber. Not a creature, not entirely. A silhouette, shifting, stretching, never resolving into one shape. Limbs where none should be, wings that folded like oceans, a head that was both a crown of spines and a yawning abyss.
It's learning us.
The sound cut short as the tablet exploded in his hands, shards slicing across his scaled face. The commander stood rigid, defiant even as the shadow loomed larger, its edges filling the chamber, consuming the vaulted ceiling like smoke swallowing fire. His voice was a guttural growl, desperate, shaking but proud.
We killed the humans. We destroyed their world. You have no right.
The shadow surged forward, and his words dissolved into static, as though the sound had been eaten before it left his throat. The chamber fell silent again, silent except for the heartbeat. The chamber was gone, not destroyed, not shattered, simply erased, swallowed by silence. Across the galaxy the ripple spread. First, the Velfar ringworld, a glittering halo where millions lived suspended in light. Its towers stretched toward the void, humming with the brilliance of a civilization that had never known fear. Then, the ham faltered. Lights dimmed. Families stopped mid-laughter, staring at shadows that bled across the walls where none should exist. Entire spires folded inward, vanishing without sound, like sketches being erased from a page. On the crystalline shores of Elis, winged beings sang their symphonies across oceans of glass. The sound carried for miles, harmonies echoing through caverns of beauty. But the song wavered. One note fell flat, then another. Soon all voices were silenced mid-breath, their crystalline bodies cracking, light bleeding out into the blackness as something vast and unseen passed overhead. Farther still, the warforge of Carvax, a world built to never bend, never yield. Armies in endless ranks stood ready, their weapons raised to the skies as alarms screamed across steel citadels. Their generals barked orders, cannons turned toward the heavens, firing bursts of fire and plasma into the void. The blasts vanished into black fog that swallowed everything. The ground trembled, fortresses collapsed, and the armies, millions strong, were gone, erased before their screams could echo. And in every corner of the galaxy the same truth unfolded. It wasn't death that came. It was erasure. No blood, no fire, no wreckage, just silence. World by world, system by system, the horror swept outward, consuming light, sound, memory itself. What remained wasn't ruin, it was nothing. The galaxy screamed, but no one could hear. The stars themselves began to vanish. From the spiral arms of distant galaxies, astronomers once peered through observatories carved from living crystal. They charted nebulae, logged pulsars, recorded the heartbeat of the universe itself. But tonight, the stars went out, not one by one, not in supernova glory, but in silence. Constellations crumbled like sand, Nebulae folded in on themselves. The universe's map was rewritten in darkness. On the moons of Teres, children gazed upward at the shimmering auroras. Their small hands reached for the sky, but the colors flickered, fractured, and disappeared. The air grew heavy, pressing against their lungs until even breath abandoned them. In the silence, their bodies dissolved into shadow, as if they had never lived at all. Across the iron clouds of Duroth, 1,000 fleets launched in defiance, titanic dreadnoughts surging forward, engines blazing. Their admirals broadcast declarations of resistance across every channel. "We will not yield. We will not break." Their words echoed across the stars, then cut short mid-syllable. Ships burned white, metal warped, and whole fleets vanished as if plucked from existence. Only drifting ash remained. Then that too was swallowed. Even time itself began to distort. On Vaith Prime, priests raised their voices in chants that had lasted centuries without pause. But in the span of one heartbeat, their chants grew warped, syllables stretched and reversed, until their voices were nothing but noise. Temples twisted, spires bent inward, and then the world was gone. From far above, the cosmos looked like a painting being erased, stroke by stroke. Entire sectors were wiped clean, civilizations stripped away as though they had never been written in the first place. The horror did not march. It did not fight. It simply was, and everything else was not. He was alone. Once his command bridge had been filled with voices, orders barked, coordinates plotted, shields raised against enemies known and unknown. Now, only the echo of his breath remained. The rest of the crew had dissolved around him like smoke. Their screams lingered only in memory, cut short as if someone had plucked them out of existence. The alien commander, scarred, scaled, and hardened by wars, sat slumped in a chair carved from metal that was beginning to soften under unseen pressure. His hands trembled over the console, not from weakness, but from the unbearable weight of silence pressing against his skull. He forced himself to speak, recording into a channel that no longer had a receiver.
If anyone still hears this, know this truth. We killed them. We killed the humans. We thought we ended them. We thought we erased their world. But Earth was their prison.
He coughed, clutching his chest as the air thinned.
The humans, they weren't protecting themselves. They were protecting us from it.
A shudder ran through the bridge as the lights flickered. Outside, the stars smeared into darkness, one by one, like dying embers drowning in ink. He looked through the viewport, and his eyes widened as shadow mass moved, vast, endless, unshaped, yet aware.
It's not hunting. It's not feeding. It's just erasing.
The console hissed static. Somewhere behind him, the sound of footsteps that weren't footsteps scraped against metal. He didn't turn. He didn't want to see.
We ended humanity, and now everything ends with us.
The transmission cut, the bridge emptied, and silence claimed the last witness. The static of the commander's last words lingered for only a moment before dissolving, as though even memory resisted surviving. So ends the account of the last survivor of the proud fleets. You have heard his confession, you have heard his fear, and you have seen the truth spread like cracks through glass. Humanity's destruction was never the end. It was the door. Planets extinguished like dying coals, fleets vanishing as if swallowed whole, whole civilizations undone in the blink of an unseen eye. They thought themselves executioners. They were, instead, the wardens who shattered the lock. And when the humans fell, when Earth was torn apart, the bars opened, and the universe learned what they had held at bay. Darkness rolls outward like a tide, swallowing galaxies. But there is no roar, no scream, just silence. Remember this, if there is anyone left to remember. Humanity did not unleash the horror. They contained it. Their end was the beginning of everyone else's. And then, a single, subtle sound, like a low chuckle, distorted and vast, before silence returns. Well, you stayed until the end. Admirable. Not everyone does, you know. Some flee at the first whisper in the dark. If you enjoyed this 4-part descent into silence, do let us know. Tell us what chilled you, what bored you, what twisted little detail gnawed at your thoughts long after the lights went out. We always appreciate feedback here at Third Shift. It sharpens the blade for the next tale. And if you didn't enjoy it, well, that too is useful. After all, not every story is for survival. Some are just to see who lingers long enough to listen. Until next time, traveler.